house managers, there's a little bit of a mixed reaction. There's some people who will tell you, me, I've had like the best experience. And we have some people who've had their house managers for a very long time, like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Someone, I was actually reading their article that said they've been together for 20 years. But then again, on the flip side, we have some who would actually have to change their house managers like twice or thrice in 1 month. So the big question is, where is the disconnect? Why is it that there's some people who are able to relate well with their house managers and others not? Okay, so that is what we want to understand today. What usually goes on, you know, between the employee and the employer as far as house manager is concerned. And of course, the question that we're asking you today is, what is your experience with house managers? Once again, what is your experience with house managers? Again, that is the question on your screens. What is your experience with house managers? Keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. Remember to use the hashtag YourWorld. But if you want to call in live and also share your experience, there's also that provision, so do not feel left out, okay? Feel free to give us a call. The numbers will be down on your screen in just a moment, and just share your experience with us. But by the end of the day, let's just find ways that we can foster a healthy relationship between house managers and their employers and vice versa. Okay, and of course, to help us with that discussion, we have Tracy Congo, who is the founder and CEO, House Gems Bureau. Thank you very much for making time for us this morning, Tracy. Perfect person to actually help us with this conversation. And we also have Wendy Kalambisio, right? Who is a house manager. Thank you very much as well, Wendy, for coming by today. We also have Samantha Mwikali Wambua, who is a parent. Thank you very much, Samantha, for coming. And we also have Michael Mutahi, who is a parent, and you've also had an experience with house managers. And like what you were telling me, good, but others, some really, really interesting, you know, reactions from the same. So of course, we'll get to understand what usually happens. But we'll start with you, Tracy. When it comes to house managers, right, the bureaus are usually tasked to help source these people and of course make sure that then again you place them in households according to the employer's needs, right? But then again, the question usually is, do you vet them? Where do you get them from? Do they approach you? What usually happens that you end up having, you know, people who need employment, and that is in form of a house manager?
First and foremost, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm Tracy, and I'm the founder of the House Games, which is located at Ngong. Now, to your question, first and foremost, these are girls who are looking for a job.
Sure.
And I have created somewhere that they can come. I'm a person who can talk to them. They can talk to me too.
Okay.
So when a girl comes, the first thing she'll ask, is this agents for real? Because we have fake ones.
Okay.
Can I get a job?
Okay.
So the work is unto us. The first thing we start with the interview. I do interview the girls. I ask them about their qualifications. For how long have they worked as nannies? For how long are they willing to work? I also ask about their health matters. So back to the client, I make sure that when a client calls me, I'm sure the kind of the job that she wants my girl to work.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. It's interesting because one of the questions that you ask is for how long does this girl intend to work, right? Because most of the times, I think, again, as employers, they'll just come and say, me, I want someone to come and help me, you know, in my house. But then again, and then expect them to be there for a long time. But maybe this girl just wants to be here for like a year or two, you know, depending on their goals and aspirations in life. We'll come back to then again what usually happens. But like you said, so it's the girls who usually come to you and ask you for a job, and then you do a bit of vetting and all that. Okay, we'll come back to get to understand more in terms of, so when you say vetting, what exactly happens? What questions do you ask during the interview process? Because I feel that is also very, very critical. And when you place someone to a household and then 2 days, 3 days later, you know, you find out that the employer calls you and tells you, this one, you know, so where is usually the disconnect? Because just recently, I'm pretty sure you've had a case of baby Andy, who unfortunately died after being really, really beaten, you know, badly by the house manager. So it's like this person was a good person, because she actually, on the very day that she was employed, is the same day that she beat up that boy, and, you know, 3 days later, unfortunately, she passed on, and of course, our hearts and prayers goes on to the family as well. He was laid to rest. But then again, let's talk to Samantha, in terms of, you have had house girls, and of course, you have one right now, right? Let's go back to your initial introduction to having a house manager, or house girls. They're actually called house managers right now, right? Your initial introduction to them, when was that? How was your experience?
Okay, first of all, let me say I really appreciate these girls, because they really, really help us, especially in this busy city life, you know. My first house help I ever had was in 2018. My baby was around 6 months. Yes, I had a job. I was going back to work, and I was also studying. I was going still back to school, so I had to look for a nanny. I didn't know how to handle them, because I've never been brought up by a nanny. Yeah, and also that was my very first.
Okay.
So I was nervous. I didn't know how to handle them. But then again, I gave them all the freedom they needed and everything. But with time, I think I stayed with her for like 2 months, and then she left.
Okay.
Yeah, she was young, and you know, with all this high school mentality of coming to Nairobi and all that, so she was carried away with the city life, and that's how she left.
Okay.
So I had to look for another house girl, and yeah.
Okay. So would you say she got carried by city life? I think a lot of people will tell you, hey, ata bibi wangu alikuja, and this, you know, is what happened. I'd like to understand more on the same. What exactly happened? Did she give you a notice? Did she not? You know, so we'll focus on the same as well in just a moment. But also, Michael, you lost your wife, right? And of course, deepest condolences as well to you. And then again, so you got to a point where you had to handle your house managers by yourself, because most of the time it's usually the wife or the woman who has like that direct contact, that's direct, someone like a relationship, quote unquote, with the house managers. But for you, you were forced to actually deal with them directly, right? When was that, and was it weird at first to just be like, be the one to, you know, handle some of these duties that were mostly held by your wife?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for this conversation. It's actually one of the conversations that we've had out there for quite some time. I think for me it's true. It was a bit weird, because initially my house managers were being dealt with by my wife then. So, and I was actually, I didn't know anything about what was happening in the house, because I mean, there was at no point did we have that direct interaction with them, because I would just do my things, get out of my, I mean, I'm either in the sitting room, doing my own things, get to the bedroom, and then I go. So at no point was I interacting with my house manager on a face-to-face until that point when my wife got sick, and she had to like go in and out of hospital every time and again. And that is when the friction, there was a bit of friction, because I just don't know how to handle so many things. I don't know how to deal with her directly. So there was a bit of friction, and when she passed on, I realized that, okay, now I'm supposed to be there like full-time now. And it got a little weird. It got very, very weird at that point. And I could tell that she was also feeling a bit weird. We were trying to adjust things here and there. And just couldn't work as much. So, but she was very helpful. I mean, at that time, she was very, very helpful, because I needed somebody to be there. So, yeah, I had to release her. Because I mean, things were just not working out. And then now I had to like ask for for help to find another house help.
one. Yes.
So, and they will come in, and there are all manner of, manner of things.
Stories, right?
Yeah, all manner of stories. But one thing I have to say is that we really, I honestly do appreciate them, because in a case like mine, you know, a home has a big gap. Sure. And when they step in, they really, in some way, they make the home feel very homely. And but at the same time, because there's nobody else in the house, so like somebody doesn't know exactly how to behave within the house, because there are all manner of responsibilities in the house, and there's nobody to like tell you, get up to this point, go up to this point. So at some point when you're with them for quite a while, when you're with her for quite a while, then you get lost, such that responsibilities start crisscrossing, and then you feel like, oh, you've lost it.
Yeah.
Now getting back becomes
a really,
really big issue, and yeah, before you know it, you've lost yourself, you've lost your home. But there are those who are very mature, who actually come in and they help you organize everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
So you really must strike a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is where most of the time there's a problem, because again, you want to establish the fact that I am the one who's running this house, this is my home, and this is how we do things. But also you do not want to be that kind of a person who, you know, your work is just to issue commands day in, day out, and all those things. So then how do you strike that balance? And also want to understand, was it different in terms of how maybe your house was run when your wife was there versus now that she's not here, so it's only you, your house manager, and your children? So was it different also in terms of the interactions and all those things, and also setting boundaries, which is where there's usually like a very big, somewhat like a gray area, right? But let's speak to Wendy. And Wendy, umekuwa house manager for a while, right? Ulianza lini? And because the way we were talking with you yesterday, you were like, yeah, kuna bosses wale wazuri kabisa, lakini tena kuna wale, you know, on the other side. So tell us, umekuwa house manager for how long?
Okay, my name is Wendy Kalandisio.
Yeah.
I am house manager at Zimmerman. Nimefanya kazi for 5 years.
5 years?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
So for 5 years.
Yes.
Wacha tuanze na the first time where you actually went to someone's home and, you know, of course you were looking for a job, right? How was that experience for you? Now before that, ulikuwa umesikia maybe story about house managers, what they expected to do, and maybe some of these stories zenye pia sisi tumekuwa tukisikia. Ulikuwa ushaisikia before you ventured into this job?
The first day, nilianza kazi 2015.
2015.
Yeah. At Kiambu. My boss treated me very good. My boss treated me very good.
Alikutreat vizuri aje? What do you mean treated you very well? Because again, were there like expectations zenye ulikuwa nayo in terms of ukifika kwa hiyo boma hivi ndo unataka ukue treated, ama unamaanisha nini ukisema your boss treated you very well?
Siku yenye nilifika huko alinichukua kama mtoto wake, alinikaribisha vizuri, alinipea malezi mzuri, alinipea upendo, tami nikajisikia kweli niko nyumbani.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ukafanya now for how long?
Nilifanya naye 2 years. Fanya naye 2 years. Akaaga.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. So vile ulifika huko alikuambia, so this is one of the things that I expect you to do, ama tu ulifika ukajijazia hii ndo kazi yenye mimi nafaa kufanya?
Nilifika huko alinifunza na kuosha bafu, kuosha some utensils.
Okay. So huyo alikupatia direction, akakwambia this is what we usually do in this house na na expect ufanye hivi, right? Okay. Are there some things that maybe alikuwa na expect ufanye that maybe you were not okay with the same?
Yeah.
Okay. Kama gani?
Maybe nilikuwa nafanya usafi na iko inamfurahisha. So alikuwa anani correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then when it comes to the needs of, again, Tracy, this is for you, the needs for different employers, right? Of course, people have different needs. So when someone comes to you, when someone calls you, what exactly do people look at? Or, you know, when it comes to looking for house managers, mostly that people usually like, this is what this person needs to have.
Okay, now the first thing most of my clients ask me, is this girl documented?
Okay.
Yes.
Why is it so important for them to be documented?
It makes the work easier or to locate someone. Now, when a girl comes and has an ID, I wouldn't pick that girl.
Okay, all right.
Unless I can ID, because it will make my work easier as an agent. Also, as a client, inakufanya kazi yako ikuwe rahisi, which is very important also, even to girls kuwa na ID. Haya, another thing, in my experience, na client akiniuliza, mi nataka msichana sitafunza kazi. I want someone who is experienced. Also, nimepata some, naulizwa kuna mwenye atasema, mi nataka ule wa ushago, sitaki wa Nairobi.
All right.
So those are the questions that I get. And I always tell my clients, nitakupatia msichana mimi mwenyewe, ninaweza eka kwa nyumba yangu.
Okay.
So I will work hard to give you the best.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, why do you feel they actually have like these requirements? Why do you feel most of them will say, mimi nataka tu yule ametoka ushago, mimi sitaki wa Nairobi? Or why do you feel others are like, mimi sitaki yule nitamfunza kazi?
Okay, kuna wenye maybe walikuwa na mwenye ametoka Nairobi.
Okay.
Na they have not had a good experience with them. Unapata mwingine anasema huyu amechanuka, wa Nairobi amechanuka sana, so mimi sitaki wa Nairobi. Nataka ule mwenye ajui tao vizuri.
Okay.
So bring me huyo ushago kabisa. Another thing, utapata mwingine akikwambia nilete mwenye hana experience yote. Nataka mimi mwenye nijifunzie.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it's different people, different needs.
Yeah.
Okay. So Samantha, for you, the one you got the first time was alifika Nairobi, city life, you know, kidogo, and then she left, right?
Yes, yes.
So did she give you notice? Did she just wake up one day, she's like, adios, thanks, goodbye, see you, maybe not? Or what happened?
No, like 2 weeks or 3 prior, there kuna behaviors alianza kudevelop.
Right.
Like my girls, I usually give them off on a Sunday. So unapata this girl goes off on a Sunday, and then they are supposed to come back by at around 6. Anakuja kwa nyumba at around midnight. Then I ask her, where are you coming from? She doesn't talk. She don't want to talk. Anaenda 2 bedroom and she closes, alafu analala. So unapata ukimu approach, it's like she's now giving you attitudes. Ataki umwambie, she doesn't want advice from you, and then everything. So I stayed with her for like with that behavior for like 3 weeks. And then she was like, Mimi, my mom is calling me back at home. Yeah, so I have to go home on a weekend. It was midweek. So akaniambia weekendi, I have to go home, and yeah, I don't know if I'll come back, but I knew, of course, she will not come back.
Yeah.
So that's how I released her, and then I looked for another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when she came, I mean, do you have like this conversation in terms of these are the rules of the house, this is how I expect you to behave around the house, this is what I want you to do? Do you have such conversations, or is it just come, do your work?
No, of course we do. During the induction, of course, you introduce them to your family members. You tell them what you expect them to do. Like for me, in regards to housework, I let them do their thing. I don't set rules for doing the house chores. Like ati amka asubuhi, saa moja, osha nyumba, saa mbili, do this. No, I don't do that. What I do, I sisitiza on meals. I mean, they have to be prepared on time.
Okay.
And hygiene of the house, lazima ikuwe at its best. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. All right. So was it difficult for you to set up these boundaries, or was it hard for you?
No, it was not hard because from the previous experience, so I gained the courage to set boundaries. I mean, from what I experienced, I I wouldn't have liked to experience it again.
Okay.
Because these girls just wanaamka asubuhi wanakuambia mimi naenda nyumbani, and you know the following day you have to be at work.
Exactly.
Uko na mtoto wako kwa nyumba, so you have to set these rules. So for me, like now, before uende, you have to give me a notice, maybe a week.
Okay.
If not, I deduct that salary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I choose.
Yeah.
If you don't give me notice,
You will deduct the
you don't have
salary.
salary for 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll talk about, again, according to the labor laws and statutory, you know, laws and the deductions and all those things that have to be met. I will also want to ask you, that is, especially you and Michael, in terms of, do you meet this, or do you just make sure that, obviously I've given you your money, you, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to submit these deductions is totally up to you, because there's a way that the law says the basic should be 13,000 and something. I'll tell you, Tom, right? Yeah. So, but before we focus on the same, so establishing boundaries. So, Michael, for you, of course, you are forced to actually do this, because now your home had to, you know, somewhat have some bit of order, because again, you're working, you have kids around, and you also had to get in someone, right? So, take us through your experience, because you've said earlier on you had some really weird, you know, experiences with the same. But for the ones who were really good, and you talked about the fact that some of them were actually mature enough to just come, make sure they take care of the home and the kids, and, you know, just do their job, learning their boundaries as well. So take us through this experience, like the really nice ones that you had, and did you have to set like boundaries in terms of this is how far you can go, and this is where ikifika hapa?
Okay. I don't know where to start. So I think the ones that I've had previously, at the time they're actually leaving the house. I've had like 2 or 3 who've actually called us to the sitting room and told us that, you know what, at the end of this month, I may want to go home. There are some who actually, at the time they're moving out of the house, they're actually either going to get married, or they're going for, to college or something.
Oh, you stayed with them for a while?
Yes, there are those that I've stayed with for a while. That I'm trying to look at it from way back now, and now to just come to now from 2019 now moving forward.
Yeah.
So, and we've had some really nice ones, and but there are some who've anaingia tu hivi anajua leo.
Yeah. And
there are those who just decide to just go for like 2 days, and then they appear. 2 days, and that has happened after 2019, after I actually lost my wife now.
Okay.
So now after now my wife left and I'm alone. So I find a house help who sees me as a really desperate person, because I get to a point where I really get desperate. I need kids to be prepared in the morning. Like normally we wake up at around 4:20, and kids are prepared. So, and it's something that we've actually done for a while. So for us it's quite easy. But when I'm able to sleep a bit, for her to like wake up, prepare the children, so that I can be able to wake up at around 5 or 6, then I can be able to concentrate at work. But after some time, a girl can just bolt out, so that they can come and negotiate for better pay. Yeah. And that can be that can really stress you up.
Okay. Yeah. Take us through that one experience. What exactly happened? Is it that they felt the workload was too much? Because we also had that complaints, right, Wendy? Mtu anasema, ai kazi ni mingi hapa, ama watoto ni wangapi?
Now, like in my house, in my house I don't think there's that much work. Okay. Because once you release the kids to go to school and off to work, you have a whole day to do what you want. Yeah. You know, let's say from around 8, you have
the house by yourself, yeah.
But when they see you as a very desperate person, you're coming home, you're really stressed, and at times you want them to like stay with the kids a bit. You don't want you want to relax a bit so that you can be able to jump to them. Somebody notices that there's a chance for a higher pay. Yeah. Yeah, and at times you're so desperate because you really can't think of where to find another house help.
Yeah, and it's a whole process.
So you really have to add a few coins here and there. And then when you feel like you're being blackmailed, then yeah, you get really stressed up, and in between the whatever contract you have, you start calling people, hey, nitaftie.
Yeah.
But the other thing, one thing I've also come to realize is when somebody comes to your house, these are very new person. It's always good to also assess their who these people are. I'm just trying to use a softer term. Try to understand these people. What's their mental state? What have they gone through? Is it something that you can deal with? Is it somebody who can actually take care of the children and also have that healthy relationship with you? There are those who actually come in and they're very good.
Yeah.
And like for me, I've even had somebody who's not very stable mentally, and I came to realize that after some time, and that was really disturbing. And I'm noticing that in the morning when I'm just about to leave.
Leave for work.
And I want her to take my child to school in the morning. Then I noticed there's a problem here.
Yeah.
And it was really bad. So I really had to remain back and try to understand this girl. So just in her movements, I could tell there's something that is not right here. So I had to call the person who actually brought her to me, and we had to had a small conversation, and then we could notice that things were just not right. And then that's when I noticed that at some point she was actually switching off the lights and moving around the house. So the kids were so scared to tell me. So,
at night?
Maybe.
Or in the morning?
The only times they actually saw that was when after school.
Okay.
Like she could lock them in one room and she could switch off the lights in each and every room, and she would just go round and round. So I realized that, it's always good to understand the mental state of a person, and it doesn't mean that you really can't work it out. At times you just have to sit down and just talk. Yeah. You just have a conversation and be able to understand them, see whether it's something that you can also help, because they're also people. Yeah. And they also find bad employers, you know. The same way you can also find a good house help, and you can also find a not so good house help.
Yeah.
So it actually goes both ways. So it's always good, once you get a house help, take time with her. Understand her mental state. Understand what is it that she's going through. Work with her, you know. Try to understand them, and because there's somebody that you're living your entire house with, so make her comfortable and try to work out a good relationship with them.
Yeah.
It doesn't work all the time, but if you can, just go for it.
Yeah. I'll come back to then how do you foster that relationship, and for you. So for how long did you have this girl? And because you said one day you just noticed this in the morning before you left for work and you had to stay behind, right? So I'll come back to you. But then again, for Wendy, so Wendy, 2015, you had a really good boss, but unfortunately they passed on, which again, we're really sorry. So after hapo, what happened? Ulijipatia break kidogo ama immediately ulienda kutafuta kazi nyingine?
Nilijipatia break. For 6 months.
Okay.
Ndio nikatafuta mahali pengine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kazi ya pili ukapata? Kazi
ya pili nikapata.
Aya, niambie experience yako ilikuwaje kwa hii boma ya pili?
Kazi ya pili nilienda nikakaribishwa vizuri. The first day I realized something was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. Kitu ya kwanza, the day niliingia, my boss hakuwa na shida.
Right.
The husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did the husband do? Like nini uliona ukaona, hii hapa, there's just something going on.
Kelele.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uko anashinda kukelelesha?
Yeah.
Okay. Anakukelelesha kwa nini? Kazi?
Yani hizi vitu tu ndogo. Yeah.
All right. So the wife was okay.
Yeah.
Yeye hakuwa na shida, alifika akakwambia this is what I expect you to do in this house, all those things. But then again, so the husband alikuwa anashinda kukelelesha.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you understand kwa nini? Anakukelelesha like almost all the time.
Okay, nilikalisha wife chini, nikamweleza, wife akaenda akaongea naye. But sikuona change, but sikujua shida ilikuwa nini. Yeah.
Okay. So akikuelesha anakwambia ni kazi hufanyi vizuri ama there's some things an expect ufanye na haufanyi wewe ama watoto uko na handle watoto vizuri, uko anakwambia nini exactly?
So mostly akinikelelesha alikuwa anasema napika chakula kingi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything else?
Hiyo tu.
Okay. So yake ilikuwa chakula. Chakula ndio ilikuwa shida mostly.
Yeah.
Unapika food mingi sana. Okay. All right. This is okay. Ukifika uliambiwa this is the amount of food yenye unafaa kupika ama wewe alikuachia tu pika chakula because again there are kids in the house, kuna wao, kuna wewe, all of you need to eat?
Mimi niliachwa tu nipike, sikuwa napimiwa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because essentially this is something that would be handled by women, right? Yeah. But then again, this husband was like, wewe unapika chakula mingi kwa hii boma sana. So vile uniambia the wife, alisema nini? Like, what was her reaction? Alikuwa na agree pia wewe unapika chakula mingi ukweli ama what happened?
Wife alikuwa ananiambia mimi nipike tu chakula, watoto washibe.
Sasa ukapika chakula.
Napika chakula.
Watoto washibe.
Yeah.
Okay, so for how long did you stay with them? And will it resolve this issue ya chakula finally?
No. Ilikuja ikaendelea, nika resign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So after we resign, do you go find another work? Do you like uko kwa any agency ama wewe tu ni independent? Unatafuta kazi on your own?
Niko kwa agency.
Okay. Yeah. So do you report such things to the agency ama to I?
Okay, hizo madays sikuwa kwa agency.
Okay.
Nilikuwa independent. But now niko kwa agency.
Uko kwa agency.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Tracy, again, such cases of course usually comes up, right? So when they report to you, so then how do you handle that? Because again, like she said, there's some really, really good bosses, really, really amazing bosses, but also there are others who you know, they're like, it's usually like kelele after kelele after kelele all the time. So when it comes to your interaction, especially with the employers, are there like set down rules in terms of this is how you're supposed to handle your house manager and this is how the house manager is also supposed to, let's say, handle you or your kids or the household as well, just to make sure that they have, you know, this cordial relationship? Because again, at the end of the day, they both need each other, right? Yeah. So do you have like set rules, contract? Yeah.
So the first thing we do, the minute I send you a girl, you should sit down with her. Tell her this is how I want my job done. Are you comfortable? Then as an agent, I make sure that after every 2 weeks, I call my girl. I want to know, is she comfortable wherever she is? Is there any problem? Also, I have a WhatsApp group for my girls where we talk. Haya, for example, Wendy, amesema aya kuna shida ya chakula, how do I handle this? So as an agent, I should have the wisdom to know what to tell her. Kwa sababu sitaki ni wakosanishe. You see, I don't want to be the reason as to why Wendy ametoka kazi. Ama client muondoa. You see. So I always create a room for both the client and the girl. And I listen to them both. Yes.
But in terms of then regulations, right? Because of course as a bureau, there are some regulations that you also have to abide by, including the labor laws and also just making it clear, especially to the employers and both to the girls or the boys, because we also have, you know, others who are actually looking for jobs as well, just to make sure that at the end of the day, hakuna hiyo kukelelesha juu ya chakula, you know. Or we also have others who wananyimwa chakula completely, you know, in terms of how, again, based on how they relate with their bosses. So in terms of these regulations, do you lay them, yani unambia boss akikuja, this is some of the rules that you need to somewhat just abide by to make sure that you also are human to this person who's coming into your house kukusaidia na kazi.
So nikituma msichana kazi, the same way nime interview msichana is the same way I'll talk to the client. Haya, first of all, as a client, niambie kazi ni gani unaitia msichana wangu.
Okay. Make it clear.
Yes, because kuna wenye watasema niko na watoto wawili. But then she has not told me that I have a brother in here, I have a sister in here. So msichana, when I'm sending a girl, she only know mimi naenda ku kazi ya watoto wawili.
Yes.
at some point utapata nimetuma msichana. The client have told me I have a 2-bedroom house.
Okay.
But hajaniambia kuna shamba pale nje. Hajaniambia kuna kuku pale nje.
Alright.
So I always talk to my clients, just tell me kazi ni gani. You see. So when I'm talking to the girl, najua what to tell her.
Yeah.
I also talk about the salary.
Yeah.
I give the girl an opportunity kujiongea.
Okay.
Haya, kuna kazi, wewe mwenyewe unataka kazi ya pesa ngapi? Nataka kazi ya 8,000. Are you qualified for this? Kazi yako inaweza kulipa because it's your job. I have seen clients wenye wasichana wamefanya kazi vizuri na hata wanaongezewa mshahara.
Absolutely. And some
Yes.
even take them to school, pay for their college. It's again,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I make that room for also clients kuniambia if there is any complaint. I make that room.
Okay.
Just talk to me.
All right.
These are my girls.
Okay.
I know how to talk to them.
All right.
Do not fear me.
Yeah.
Just talk to me.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because so it's the person who's looking for a job to decide how much they want to be paid.
Okay.
Right? Because according to the law, of course, there's that basic that
Yes.
this is a person, this is how much this person is supposed to be paid every single month. That includes NSSF, NHIF, all this deductions, right?
Yeah.
But then again, what I'm hearing is that it's the girl who says, listen, mimi nataka kazi ya hii pesa na hii pesa, right?
So what we do, the moment Wendy comes to me, namwambia kuna kazi.
Okay.
These are the jobs.
All right.
Kuna kazi ya 8,000, kuna kazi ya 6,000, kuna kazi ya 7,000. But then nikiku interview and when I'm learning you,
Yeah.
are you qualified for this? Because
For
kila
that.
mtu ataenda kikubwa.
Oh, true, of course.
But are you qualified?
For that job.
Is your age ina qualify kuwa na ile kazi?
Okay.
Because client pia wanaangalia age. Hakuna venye msichana wa 22 years atalipwa the same na wa 30, 50
Yeah,
years.
yes. Yeah,
You see,
yeah.
because huyu ni mzazi. 30 years ni mzazi. 22 is just a girl. Unaona?
Okay. Or maybe some ni wazazi bado.
Yes,
You never
yes,
know.
ni
Yes.
mzazi.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't compare the both.
The two.
You see.
Yeah.
So I always tell them, just pick yenye unajua you yourself. You're going to be
Utaweza.
committed to
Okay.
it. You won't bring any problems.
Yeah.
Yes, because I won't entertain that.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to know then how then do you make sure, because again there's some who anakuja leo kesho ako zile za ai mimi hapana mimi sitaki kazi nataka ingine then afike kwa baba atoke hapo sema aende ingine sema ai hapana mimi sitaki kitu, but you know those ones who hope every single month I would say, or even ataka 2 weeks atoke aende. And I also want to know from you, Samantha, have you had that type of girl yani anakuja asubuhi and then kesho she's like I'm out, thank you very much, right? And how then do you handle that? And also as far as then the bureaus, do you also get accused most of the time like mimi msichana nimetoa kwako you know, and all those things? So of course there's still a lot to discuss as far as your relationship with your house manager, but of course the question that we're asking you today is what is your experience with your house manager? So keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. We're taking a break, but of course when we come back we'll still have a lot to talk about as far as this whole topic of house managers and how you handle them and your relationship is with them. Stay with us. This is Your World.
Toss White hutoa madoa kutoka nguo za rangi kama red, yellow, blue, yani kala zote. Lakini ni specialist wa kutoa madoa kutoka nguo za white. There's a Toss for every laundry need. Toss ya tosha.
Baby, follow my command, be like zombie. Yeah, money. Nakwambia this week on Teen Republic, we're gonna be taking it up a notch. All the way from Lagos, Nigeria, we're gonna be having the one, the only, Loje na Palace Studioni. Nakiwasha with a brand new track from Bazenga Daddy himself, Rita LW.
And on the hang up, guys, Talanta Nitupu Hapa H-Town. Yeah, those are Huruma kids. Not forgetting, music policy will be courtesy of DJ Rick Moy. Not forgetting, guys, all these energies courtesy of Fanta. Snacking is colorful.
Teen Republic, in association with Fanta.
Snacking is comfy and playful. Snacking is a tasty treat. That's why snacking is colorful. Snack with Fanta.
Zanzibar Island, a 1 hour 20 minutes flight from Nairobi, and one of East Africa's key tourist destinations.
The kind of clients we experience on this route are mostly tourists, mostly from connecting flights from Kenya with destinations in Europe.
What's the Kenyan connection?
This hotel was designed by a Kenyan architect and his team.
And how is the island's hospitality sector doing amid the COVID-19 pandemic?
We have all the protocols in place that will give comfort to our guests.
Learn more through our experience this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on NTV.
This is, to me, is like a second home. During the COVID time, they financed me.
Welcome to the family, your home of agribusiness. Because you can always bank on family. Fuzu na family.
Right, welcome back. Glad you're still with us. The show is Your World, and it's all about a relationship with your house manager today. And we just want to understand what usually goes on, especially amongst employers and their house managers, and vice versa, and the children as well, because we've also had stories about children who, I don't know, terrorize one too in some homes. And how then do you foster a healthy relationship between your house manager and yourself? And of course, the question that we're asking you today is, what has been your experience with your house manager? Once again, what is your experience with your house manager? Keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_Winnie. And of course, we'll be sampling your feedback during the show, because we want, by the end of the show, to just help people understand, all right, and just have a basic knowledge as far as then how do you handle your house manager and vice versa, to make sure that we have a healthy relationship between the two. But for you, Samantha, you've had experiences, right? Before I come to Michael, where Michael's like, this person comes to my house and then anajua amefika. She wants to be the wife in my house. You have an experience from Kukulu affair. And then mnapochiwa. And someone just comes and decides to poach your house manager, right?
Yeah.
And then there's also another one, wale wanafukuzangwa, you know, and the neighbors, middle of the night. Take us through this experience. What happened? And when was this?
First of all, the first incident was that one of kupochiwa house girl.
Okay. How did that happen? She was very competitive, right? And she was very competent.
Maybe. So I had this house girl. I was referred to by a friend. So I stayed with her for like 2-3 months. And then she started showing me some funny behaviors. Like zile rules nilikuwa nimeset, and I feel like I'm entitled to everything in the house. So I had to talk to her. So when I talked to her, she was like, okay, I will change and everything. Can monitor for like another week or two. Then nikaanza kufeel ni kama ha change.
Okay.
So I felt ni kama kuna venye anataka kuenda and she's looking for a reason to kutoka.
Okay. What about those rules zile? Naona too surely, but I've told you. But then again, she doesn't do according to what you told her. Give us an example.
Like hygiene of the house. So you find like mtoto amecheza, the toys are all over. So by the time I'm coming from work, the house is really unkept. So namwambia, hey, this house, hey, manze inakaa vibaya. Can you do something? Then I go to to my bedroom, nakaa for like 1 hour, nione. Then I come back, napata
the house is still the same. Okay.
Yeah, so that month nikamlipa. Kumlipa, the following day akaniambia, my dad ameniita, I have a brother who is sick and everything, so I have to go home. So I had to release her, and then she went. A day later, namwona kwa neighbor.
She didn't go home.
No, she did not.
Okay.
So I was like, kwani she was from Meru.
Yeah.
I was like, kuna Meru ingine Nairobi na sijui.
Okay.
So I knew wenyewe hapa nilichezwa tu, but it's okay. Yeah, Carol sishindangi huko, so
it's all right.
It's all right.
Did you ask your neighbor? Me, I would go ask, like, hiya, what happened?
No, I did not.
No?
Up to date, I've never.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she still there?
Yeah, she's still there.
Do you meet? Did you say hi?
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I did not.
Okay. So huyo alienda tu kabisa.
Yeah,
so then what
kinda.
happened? Did you go through an agency or did you just ask around? Because you see, at this point you're really desperate to get someone because they're kids and then you have to work. You can't call the office and say, me, I'm not coming to work for a whole month because my house manager left. You have to
look for someone.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had to call a bureau. Most of my girls, I get them from bureaus.
Okay.
So I had to call, and then I was given a house girl immediately. So she's the one I'm having right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So far, so good?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's okay.
She is okay. All right. Because there's usually that expectation that when you get a girl, and I'm pretty sure you've also had this, where people say, if you get a girl from a bureau, because they have been vetted, right? Wanajulikana, this is where they come from, this is maybe their level of education, hivi ndo wanafanya kazi, and hawatakusumbua sana. And then they get to the house, and you're like, Allah, what happened? Did you have like that high expectation as far as getting girls from bureaus?
No, because mnaambiwa both stories, kuna wazuri na kuna wabaya. For me, I've had both, wazuri na wabaya. Though wazuri, nikaa tu ni mmoja.
Okay.
So the rest, like I had one, this girl alikuja, tukakaa vizuri, though she was like, it's in the morning, she's doing makeup, she has piercing all over, ameeka my rings and everything. So I was like, oh damn, house girl kweli. But I said, it's okay.
Yeah.
As long as you
can't
do
judge
your work.
anyone, true?
Yeah, as long as you do your work, I'm okay. So tukakaa, and then it's ikafika birthday ya mtoto wangu.
Yeah.
So I'm going to buy the birthday things and everything. And then on my way, naona SMS from my house girl. Nikujia na guarana, I don't know how many.
No.
Like for real. Then I asked her, you said what? I actually called her. Nimeona text yako, what do you want? Yeah, mom. They called me mom. Ni birthday ya mtoto, we have to celebrate and everything.
No way.
I had to release her the following day.
No way. I mean,
yeah.
Is it okay? Because again, there's also that aspect of, oh wow, okay, but I'm still stuck there.
Yeah.
Aspect of give them the freedom. They're part of the family. They help you with, managing the house when you're not here.
Yeah.
Take care of your kids and all those things. So it's like you're part of us.
Yeah.
You have all the freedom. So did she have that she felt leo ni party, leo ni bash.
Actually,
let's have a good time.
Nakwanga nimewapatia freedom, and then we are free with them.
Yes.
They are like my sisters,
Yeah.
So I think at some point pia wanakujanga wana
Overstep.
cross the borders.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like that one ananiitisha guarana. I was
Right?
like who? How?
Did you take it to her?
Yeah, I talked to her and I told her, manze hapa
But ulimpeleke?
No, I did not. Of course I cannot.
Of course not. Okay. All right. Where? Okay. Ukakuliwa fair pair at some point. I'll come back to you. But Wendy, again, listening to such stories, right? And we've had worse stories as far as, you know, what house managers sometimes do. Do you feel like, in your opinion, because of course you are there, you've dealt with several bosses, unajua vile wana operate and all those things, do you feel that sometimes the bosses wanna allow their house managers to behave in certain ways? Ama ni mtu tu ana decide, wacha tu take advantage of this home, because from what you're saying is that you give them the freedom, you treat them very well, they're, you know, they're your families, more treat them like sisters and stuff, so they're like, sikwani sipia mimi like, so do you feel like mwapatia that much freedom that sometimes they tend to overstep? What did you feel this is the case for so many house managers?
So some tu ni behaviors yake.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But is there a way enye boss anaweza kutreat mpaka uone huyu ni mzuri sana, I can do anything in this house? Like, do you feel ni hao wanawapatia hiyo leverage, hiyo leeway, yeah? Just do whatever you want, after all uko home. No?
Yeah.
Kuna heshima inafaa ikue.
Kuna heshima inafaa ikue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Michael, for you, this some that you got that walifika wakajua sasa hao ndo wamefika, hao ndo wamekuwa wife in the home. What happened?
I think let me talk about two.
Yeah.
By the fact that there's a gap, and I also want my kids to also be very, very comfortable.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I do have some boundaries, because ever since, like, let's say there's a place where unasemanga you don't go beyond this.
Yeah.
The only boundary, which is like now my bedroom, ambia this one ni sawa.
I'll take care
of
it.
But any other place kwa nyumba, you want to do what you want to, it's okay, as long as you're working correctly and you're being good to the kids, and you're not getting me into trouble with my neighbors or something. You just be you, just do you. Kula, eat, do anything that you want to do.
Okay.
But, yeah, and some people just get so comfortable. There's one who really got comfortable, and she will tell me, leo nimeenda kuona rafiki yangu, so I might not come in the evening.
All right.
Tomorrow I have an early morning. I'm supposed to get to work very early.
This is during the week?
This is during the week.
Okay.
And I mean, the kids are supposed to be, I mean, she has to prepare the kids to, for school. And there's so many things to be done in the morning.
Yeah.
And she tells me, and she just tells me in the evening. And immediately she tells me that she switches off her phone. And she will appear like 2 days after. Anytime you want to ask anything, I mean, like, I'm not ready for that conversation. And if she's gotten to that point, don't ask me that.
Yeah.
So, and I will feel like, hey, I'm losing my power now.
Yeah.
I feel like
They've come to your home and taken over your home. Yeah.
But when she starts working, she does it so well that you forget so fast.
Ah, I see.
Now you feel like you're in some kasiso, some kind of a kasiso. So when she does it so well. Your house looks so warm, your house looks so nice, so neat. Even the veranda, everything looks just. When you get to work, when you come home from work that evening, you're like, hey, I think this is how my house should actually look.
Yes.
And you forget everything.
Yeah.
If you're looking for another house help, you decide to just call the person you're telling to find a house help for you.
Pause kwanza.
Pause kwanza. I think things are working
good.
out.
Yeah.
So that is one. And she'll just come back. Then I realized this is becoming. It's becoming a problem.
Yeah.
So I had to get another one. So when I got this other one, now she was so comfortable and she was so happy. She was so good with the kids. She was really, really nice. And she had all the freedom to do, like, to cook whatever she wants. Now after some point, after a month or two, I realized that if I suggest something in the house, it can't be done. No, it's not done that way. It has to be done this way.
She tells you that?
She tells me that. I'm like, okay. And then she does something, it looks nice, I let it pass. And then the next time I suggest something, and then she tells me, no, it doesn't happen that way. Then I realized, oh, I think there's a problem here.
She's come, she's taken over,
now,
she's okay.
The other problem is even the people that you invite to your house, it's like you have to tell her. So there's a time I invited a guest to my house. It was a lady who really wanted to come and see the kids.
Yeah.
When she sat there, the lady just akapita to wah. So I had to really have a very a serious conversation with my friend. She was like, what's happening?
What's happening?
Like I really had to explain. I'm like, what? No, I'm good. So I had to even call her to just ask her to sit there and ask her, why are you behaving this way? She would not eat. She would just bring food and place it on the table and move. It's like, what's this?
Do you think she was jealous? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it was 1 hour that was so, it was not a very good 1 hour.
Yeah.
Because my mind was all over. We could not even have a good
conversation with your guest.
With my guest.
Yeah.
So it was really terrible. That's when I realized that I really have to be in charge of my house. And it has to be clear the kind of the kind of a relationship that we have.
Exactly.
And the one thing I normally do is that after every like 2 weeks, I normally have like a meeting with my house help. Like after a week, or when I feel like there's something which is not going very right, we do have a very serious conversation, like in the evenings, and we talk. We talk. And some of them have found it to be very weird, because they're having a very serious talk with somebody they were laughing with a few minutes ago.
Yes.
So, and I like it that way.
Yeah.
So with this particular girl, I took time before just releasing her.
Yeah.
So we had a conversation, and I felt like I think we're in agreement. Another visitor comes in. Okay. And she was overruling me. Anytime I say something, no. You know, I felt like I'm not in charge of the house. And I don't think this is what I want. At some point, I really wanted to feel like I can control this. You know?
So in terms of, like in terms, what exactly, like in terms of maybe how the house is supposed to be run, how the kids are supposed to be handled, how, you know?
She was the best person. She was doing a perfect job. She
like
was actually
everything was just perfect. Yeah.
Everything was super perfect. The house was looking really nice.
Yeah.
But now I realized that in as much as I'm having this, there's something that I'm actually losing. Like I could even go out. I could even go out to see. I mean, to just hang out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will come late, and I will find everything is perfect,
in order.
You know?
Yeah.
And I will even spend out. When I come back, everything is so good.
Yeah.
But now, on the other side.
Yeah.
So releasing her was quite an issue.
Do you feel there's something that she needed more that maybe you were not willing to offer? Because Mefika, like I run the house, I am the one in charge of the kids and all those things. Like, did you get those hints?
She was very straight with me. Straight in terms of, because I think for me with my house helps, we rarely have that time to really have those conversations.
Interaction, yes.
It's like I just get into the house. I have my seat, so I sit. I will get my glass of water, my whatever I want. I should go to the kitchen, prepare something, and then get it. Get it to me.
Yeah.
And that's it. I will watch my TV. We have a conversation with the kids. Then after that, I will just get into my bedroom.
All right.
And that's it. It's a routine that has always been there for a very long time.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened. Even at some point, there was she started competing for attention with my kids. When I get to the house, like my daughter would really want to just come and give me a glass of water.
Yeah.
Or maybe probably something that she feels like I do take.
You need, yeah.
She would rush to give it to me first. And my daughter will feel like, Appa, no, and they will start fighting. You know, they started fighting now.
How old is your daughter, or was she then?
No, my daughter was 10 then.
Oh no, yeah.
And she will just come, sit with me. Hey, Daddy, how was your day? Blah, blah, we will talk. But she will just come, get me the water, get me something.
Yeah.
Sawa, Baba Devi, ukawa sawa. I'm good. And they will really fight for that.
Yeah,
so,
for the attention.
Okay. So that's why I really realized. That's why I realized that I needed to take action.
Yes.
There's something that is so weird.
Yeah.
And I needed to
let her
I needed to act.
Yeah.
So yeah, we parted ways.
Yeah.
And since then, the kids have really developed a phobia for house helps. So right now we are using wakuja na kwenda.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course we'll also talk about how, of course, the shift that was, and also do you feel like sometimes the kids get so attached to them because she's like a mother figure to them, so gets that much attachment, so such that when you want to let them go, it becomes even difficult, you know, for the kids, because like you said, she does everything else perfectly, but then again, you know, on this other end, there's this weird behaviors that also make you uncomfortable in your own home. But for you, Wendy, you've also had really good bosses, but you've also had bad bosses, right? Yes. And listening to what Samantha and Michael are saying, what do you make of it? Like, what goes through your mind ukisikia vile anasema, hey, huyu alifika kakwa too comfortable, eh? She's the one running the house, paka yeye ndo ana decide ni nini inafaa kufanywa in this house. What do you feel like? How do you feel ukisikia, you know, such stories and having been there? This is what kazi yenye unafanya. Unasikia aje ukisikiza such stories?
Zingine ni painful, zingine so naweza sema hivi, kama sisi house manager, mostly our boss wanachangia kwa mambo zingine, na mostly wengine ni kiburi yetu. Yeah. So for example, kama issue ya huyu sorry, jina imepotea. Michael, issue ya Michael, unaona, aliachia the house manager to control the house, unaona, so akaona amefika. Yeah. So angeingia mwambie hivi na hivi mpaka ni hapa, hiyo ingetokea. Aingetokea. So
but amesema ali establish boundaries, akaambia hapa ikifika hapa, ama unasema like mtu anafaa kusema exactly ikifika hapa hivi na hivi na hivi ndio na expect wewe ufanye, hapa na expect hapa ndio utafikia, ikifika mtu zingine
kuna mpaka unaweka hata hii bedroom, kuna kuingia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So establish your boundary, make it clear for your house manager that hizi ndio vitu yenye na expect kutoka kwako na hizi si expect kutoka kwako.
Yeah.
Okay. What other thing do you feel bosses wanachangia into certain behaviors, especially from their house managers?
Like, let me make it like disadvantages, sorry. Repeat that question.
Vitu zingine zenye house like bosses, for example, wanachangia, because nilikuwa nasoma some articles were saying that saa zingine character ya boss ndio itadetermine vile house manager atarelate na yeye na watoto wake. If you're too free na wao, wataona ai si tumefika, sisi tuko the same level, you know, and then they start behaving in certain ways. Na kuna wengine wenye utapata boss ni mkali hadi house manager pia anaogopa. So do you feel like sometimes character ya bosses inachangia house manager ku behave in a certain way?
Yeah.
Na umesema ya kwanza ni hiyo, sometimes bosses hawa set boundaries clearly.
Upendo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So unaona akutreat aje, anafanya aje ndio feel at least, you know, unakuwa recognized kama mtu.
So anioneshe kama upendo, kama nimekosea anirekebishe in a right way. Si kelele. Yeah.
Okay.
Anirekebishe in a right way. Because I'm a grown up. Na watu wengine wamelelewa kwa makao tofauti. So wengine wapendi makelele ama nini, unaona. So kama kuna mahali nimekosea, aniite chini kama meeting. Then tukae chini, we can settle the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But nini sometimes unafeel yenye bosses hawafanyi yenye ikuonyeshe amekurekebisha. Kuna wengine wanakunyamazia ama watoto pia.
So mwingine anaweza kuja kwa nyumba aone maybe hapa jangara atake advantage ya kusafisha. Hakuambi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anaendelea tu kusafisha.
Anaendelea tu kusafisha. So hakuambi.
Okay.
So unaweza feel guilty.
Yeah. Okay. I'll come back to you in terms of sasa watoto, then how do you relate with the kids just to make sure that pia watoto wanakurespect, because we've also had stories ya watoto ambao hawa respect house managers, and then of course that brings a little bit of a rift. But for you, Samantha, in terms of then relationship, again, you as the boss and relating to the nanny and or the house manager, because again, like I said earlier on, there's sometimes people just observe your character, wanaona who you kuna villaineza, and then like Michael says, this person is really, really good at their job. But then again, sometimes there's some things that they do that you're just like, I'm going to let you go today. And then they work so well. How do you, unabaki hapo katikati, do I not, right? So in terms of then determining the kind of behavior that you can tolerate in your home, what do you feel as a boss, as an employer, tunachangia? Because Wendy also says, pia nyinyi bosses, kuna vile, you promote certain behaviors.
Yeah. That's true. First of all, most of us tukitoka kazi and you find easy complaints mingi zikuwa jioni, right? So unapata mtu ametoka kazi, akona stress zake za kazi, amefika kwa nyumba, anapata kitu kidogo like she says place ijaoshwa. So you see unaanza kumkelelesha and everything. So unasahau pia she's a human. So na ni mtu waizi kaa chini aanze kukuuliza how was your day and everything for her to understand you and ndio ajue venye atakuapproach. So you start keleleshaing her and everything, so she's atakupatia attitude definitely. And tomorrow unamwacha na watoto wako and everything, watatreatiwa tu vibaya. So hapo ndio unapata most of them wanaanza kuchange. So they match your energy. Okay, kwa mbaya they'll also be. Yeah.
And then we also have like really horrid stories about how some certain house managers, of course, treat the children, right? And someone might ask, so the way you relate with your house manager, will that also determine how they also treat your children?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Because hakuna venye utamtreat vibaya and you expect her to treat your kids. The only place anaweza revenge that is kana taku revenge, it's through your kids. Because wewe mwezi bishana na yeye.
True.
Of course anakupatia ile respect and probably anakuogopa. So the only thing atafanya ni watoto. Probably hata kama si kuwachapa and everything, utapata probably hata wanashinda njaa. You're not at home the whole day. Na maybe the children ni wadogo bado hawezi kupatia story like how their day was and everything. So wana take advantage. So I think it's good pia when you relate na house girl ikue
a bit fair.
Yes, a
right?
bit fair.
Treat them as human beings at the end of the day.
Right.
Okay then. So we'll also take a look at some of the bosses who dump all the responsibilities to the house manager, and then she feels like, sasa, kwani hapa, where is the disconnect? And also when it comes to then fostering this really healthy relationship, then what do you do? Yes, set boundaries. We've talked about boundaries and stuff. But at the end of the day, just to make sure that you're okay, your children are okay, and also the house manager themselves are also okay. How then do you foster that kind of relationship? But also we've had house managers who are really mistreated, others who are treated in inhumane ways. So then what happens? Do you have welfares for them? Do you report such instances? What usually happens? Just to make sure that then again, because at the end of the day, like we said, they're still human beings, right? And they deserve to be treated with decency. Okay, so let's take a break, but of course when we come back we'll also get to understand that and much more. But keep to it at tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lubembe_. When you remember, the question that we're asking you today is, what is your experience with your house manager? Stay with us. This is Your World. See you soon.
Dr. Funike and Mama Kayai host unscripted true life relationship experiences on reality TV show Kupatana. Nia, Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. and Kupatana every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Terms and conditions apply.
Burgers for $6. Did you say 6? Your favorite moment.
Now your favorite ice cream. It's so good.
Order what you want to select what you want.
Order it now. Download the app, order a Glovo, and we get it.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust. Try Panadol Advance. With Panadol's Optizode formula, the tablet absorbs quickly and starts providing fast and effective pain relief you can trust. Try Panadol Advance.
I'm growing up, I'm growing into every moment.
Thanks, Mom.
Nurture the moment with Minute Maid Delight. Now available in tropical, orange, mango, and apple flavor.
Starts to work on fever in just 15 minutes. Trust Panadol Baby and Infant to work on fever fast, to bring back their cute smiles.
Join Property Focus every week as we walk you through some of the latest house designs, property, hot deals on land for sale, modern furniture, trendy kitchens, finishes, and also get to hear experts' opinions on matters architecture, building construction, and real estate. Now, catch the show with me, Peter and Gigi, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. only on NTV. Let's go.
It is now a matter of history that PSG blew a 2-0 aggregate lead, eliminated by Real Madrid as its mental strength crumbled and its fears were exposed. While UEFA opened an investigation into chairman Nasser Al-Khelaifi allegedly storming the referee's dressing room, there was also talk manager Maurizio Pochettino faced the sack. This is the Football Review.
This is, to me, is like a second home. During the COVID time, they financed me.
Welcome to the family, your home of agribusiness. Because you can always bank on family. Fuzu na family.
Join Property Focus every week as we walk you through some of the latest house designs, property, hot deals on land for sale, modern furniture, trendy kitchens, finishes, and also get to hear experts' opinions on matters architecture, building construction, and real estate. Now, catch the show with me, Peter and Gigi, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. only on NTV. Let's go.
Baby, follow my command, be like zombie. Yeah, man, you know, compared this week on Teen Republic, we're gonna be taking it up a notch. All the way from Lagos, Nigeria, we're gonna be having the one, the only Lodge Napala Studioni, Mwikali with a brand new track from Bazenga Daddy himself, Breeder LW.
And on the hangout, guys, Talanta Nitupu Hapa H-Town. Yeah, those are Huruma kids. Not forgetting, music policy will be courtesy of DJ Rick Moy. Not forgetting, guys, all these energies courtesy of Fanta. Snacking is colorful.
Teen Republic, in association with Fanta.
Snacking is comfy and playful. Snacking is a tasty treat. That's why snacking is colorful. Snack with Fanta.
It's super cool to be a mass superhero, to get the spread of the virus to 0. Here's how to wear a mask. Clean your hands before putting on your mask. Make sure your mask is clean. Cover your mouth, nose, and chin with a clean mask. Then adjust the mask on your face, leaving no gaps on the sides. That's it. Now you're good to go. Yay! Wearing a mask helps protect you and others from spreading viruses. To get the spread of the virus to 0.
All right, welcome back. We're in the last phase of the discussion. And of course, the question that we're asking you today is, how is your experience with your house manager? Or if you are a house manager watching us today, how is your experience with your employer? And that is what we want to understand today. Of course, keep tweeting at NTV Kenya at Lumembe_Winnie. Remember to use the hashtag #YourWorld. Now, to some of your feedback. This is Esther Nyongesa, who says, be friendly with your house manager, but avoid being friends with them is the best advice I've ever had concerning boss-domestic manager relationship. All right. And then there's also another one who says, this is at Njuki Justice, who says, our house help knocked on my bedroom, and upon opening the door, she was right standing there in front of me, dressed on a shuka only. I chased her instantly, and I decided to work from home until my girl grows up. All right, Michael, I want to also understand from you, have you had any of these instances? Do you want to respond to the same? Okay.
I think I posted the post on my page.
Yes.
And I remember getting that comment from Justice.
Yes, it's Justice. Yes.
That's why I started laughing when I heard the name.
Okay, and then because I also want to hear from you. Do you get, now that you are alone, and like you said earlier, some girls will actually come and just feel comfortable. I'll be fika, right? So in terms of then some level of disrespect, because again you're alone, I feel I can take care of you, I can take care of your kids, like mini wife, right?
I think there's a very interesting way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a lady who's come to a space and found that, it's free, it's open.
Yeah.
They probably want some stability in their lives.
Yes.
So I wouldn't look at them as people who've come to destabilize you or something. So it's just upon you to know what are your boundaries. This is, she's a single girl.
Sure.
She's probably 24, 25, and she would actually want to find some level of stability. She's here, she's taking care of everything. Everybody wants some sort of stability in their lives. But now it's upon you to understand that this is your house help. This is what you want from this house help. This is what, you set your boundaries even from within yourself. It has to be right from the word go. You're not bringing a wife to your house. You're bringing a house help for your kids. In as much as you don't see her as a demon.
Yeah.
Like probably if you like a single girl from whatever profession, if you just go somewhere and you spot an opportunity, maybe you'll actually jump into it and see whether you can be able to grab it.
Yeah.
But now you also have to look at the repercussions. If you go all the way as the employer, you lose your power in your house. Probably you might end up with things that you never really wanted. So you have to set your boundaries right from within yourself and even within your house.
Yeah.
And you also want your house to be a respectable home, So you don't want to be doing things that you wake up in the morning and you're feeling like, it's like I'm also losing myself or something. You want a respectable home where you're able to, you have your kids intact, you have yourself intact, and you also have a worker who is also performing her duties right.
Yeah.
So don't see her as a devil. She's trying to find stability.
True.
And just see yourself as somebody, just know exactly the kind of a home that you want to raise.
Exactly.
And work towards that.
Yeah.
And that way you'll be able to avoid so much, and you'll treat her with a lot of respect. If you see something from her, you can be able to correct her from a point of respect.
Yes.
Rather than somebody who's from some other planet somewhere who's actually come to your house to do some weird things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just try and find a balance and try to understand things from all manner of perspectives.
Yeah, I like that. And of course, as far as then respect is concerned, and then I'll come back to read this comment. So Wendy, ushafika point you feel you are not respected, either by the bosses ama watoto. Hawakutreat na ile respect yenye you as a person you deserve, in as much as, yes, you've come to this person's home, na unawasaidia kazi. Have you ever been treated that way?
Yes.
What happened?
So kama naweza watoto wengine wanangoza their mom wanakuja, wanakuja wanakusumbua, wakikuchuna, wakikupiga, unaelewa? Na mama amekaa hapo haongei. So una feel jealous, unakuwa na machungu. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, and especially kutoka kwa bosses, maybe in a way that una feel sometimes wanna disrespect their house managers?
Yeah, some. But me wenye nimepitia kama
howja feel any form of disrespect from them. Okay, but we also have some house managers wanakuwa exploited by their bosses, wanashitiwa vibaya. For example, there's some, again, we've had the stories where ananyimwa chakula ama anambua kalale chini, and yet siti kuna kitanda lakini anambua yeye kalale chini, ama anapewa some room sijui wapi huko kambiwe, you know, and it's not a decent room yenye utasema amepewa, yes, unaweza ishi hapa. Have you had such stories? Have you experienced it maybe amongst your friends ama your peers? Ushaisikia such stories?
Yeah, kwa my friend. Yeah.
Wasemaje?
So my friend alienda akapewa room, haina kitanda, haina mattress. The environment haikuwa poa kwake. Yeah.
Okay.
The boss akienda kazi hamwachi lunch. So yakiona maybe kuna food kwa fridge apike. Jioni akikuja anakeleleshwa. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in such situations, again, Tracy, what would you say? Because again, these are not just stories that we hear. They happen in real life, right? So in such instances where you might find, you know, a house manager is being exploited or they're being treated with disrespect, or even cases of unfair termination, thanks, bye, right? So how then do you handle such cases? Because again, like you said, these are your girls, they come through you. So you'd want to make sure that they are in a safe environment, in, you know, a really good environment for them to work and also thrive in.
So first of all, when it comes to me, there is the amount of money that she has to pay.
Okay.
And when I take her to job, we have a contract of 2 months. So between these 2 months, in case of anything, in case you are not comfortable, or I have had cases that even the husbands are taking advantage.
Oh, yes.
You see?
Yeah.
So what I normally do, I always talk to the madam. So are you willing to change or to treat this girl right? I give her a chance.
All right.
You see?
Okay.
But then if I don't see any change, I normally call the client. I tell her, now these 2 months are over. I want my girl back.
Okay.
But I must have the reasons, you see.
Or it's 2 months between you and the employer, just to see how they fare on. That is the employer and the house manager.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
And when I get this girl, it is my responsibility to make sure that she gets another job. She's somewhere. Because you will find out, kama hana kazi, someone goes even into depression because ame lose kazi na maybe it was paying well but she wasn't comfortable. Wengine unaona they have gone, wamedanganyiliwa kama ni wadogo, washapata they are pregnant or anything, you see. So I make sure that wakitoka kwa ile environment, I take that responsibility to make sure now wherever they go, they must be comfortable.
Okay.
You see. And another thing, for I want to help my brother here. He talked about iyo msichana kusikia amefika. You see, now she can take over. I would like to talk to every viewer who is watching that the moment you find out that this girl is not okay, give her only one chance. Because remember, this is your house. Now, Winnie, you have had a long day, and the only place you can relax and have peace is in your home. And if you don't have that peace, anaweza kuwa anafanya kazi yake vizuri, anaosha vyombo vizuri, but if you yourself you don't have that peace, just let her go. Because another thing, kama ulimchukua kwa agent, there is that contract. You sign the agent. So there must be a replacement.
Okay.
You see, so you are in a peace. It's so important. Kana watoto every night ukitoka kazini, kana watoto chini, watoto wako. Ask them, when I was away, nini ilikuwa inatendeka? Are you comfortable with auntie? You see, because I always tell my clients, huyu mtoto, he or she is the boss.
True.
Because, for example, me naweza osha vyombo. I can clean my house, you see. But then, nimekuajiria huyu mtoto. If he or she is not comfortable, then what are you doing? You see.
Yep.
So I make sure that my kid is comfortable. And that's why nikipeleka msichana, I always tell the client, talk to your children. Kama ni wakubwa na wanaelewa, talk to them. Haya, auntie amekuja. Are you comfortable with her? Should we pick her or not? You see, if they said no, they must have a reason as to why. You see, and in fact, the first reproach the girl will make, utajua tu huyu msichana ni mzuri ama huyu msichana hata sikizana na watoto. For example, okay, msichana ataingia akute mtoto. Kuna wenye hata watasalimia mtoto. Tuseme mtoto ni mdogo, hata utacheza na mtoto. But then I want someone who is friendly to my kid.
Okay.
I want someone who nikiwa nje, kama nimetravel, I'm at peace.
Ukijua mtoto wako will be
najua
taken
mtoto
care
wangu
of.
analelewa vizuri. And something else I always tell my girls, huyu mtoto, make sure she's okay. Like for example, I have a client, nikampelekea msichana, msichana alikuwa mzuri sana. By the way, that girl, afadhali angeacha vyombo kwanza ende mtoto if the baby was crying. It reached a point that my client had to call me and tell me, Tracy, I'm even worried. This girl loves my kid so much. I'm worried, you see.
Yeah.
But then she created that room with the girl. Huyu msichana hata angekatiwa nje. If there is a man who is katiari, because those are things that happen.
Of course. Yeah.
She will talk to the madam. Kuna kijana hapa ananidanganyilia. In fact, it reached a point, the madam told me, Tracy, now what I'm going to do, because this guy is so serious, na ni kama msichana anaingia box. So what I'm going to do, I have an extra room, an extra house, you see. I'm going to bring, because huyu msichana nampenda sana. Nitaleta huyu msichana, wakitaka kuoana, they stay at my compound.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't want to lose this girl.
Okay.
You get?
Yeah.
So, mtoto niye mwajiri wako. And if this kid is not okay, trust me, hata madam kwenye yako hata kuwa sawa.
It's true.
So I make sure that huyu msichana nimechukua, she's someone who is very friendly with the kids.
To the kids. But so how much control do you have? Because again, someone might come. They're really good, let's say to the kids, yes, to the entire family and all those things. But then again, in a point, they completely change and become something else. And you see, for you, you've done your work. Msichana amekuja, you've vetted them, you've placed them in a home where you feel they'll be okay or they're competent enough to, you know, do their job kwa hiyo nyumba umewaachilia, right? And then after some time, ana change, and then the employer calls you, akuzile za, msichana uliniletea, hapana, you know? So then it's such a situation, because now you have no control over how someone will behave once they get to someone else's home.
So I will say that kuna lingana pia ile as clients, nimekuletea msichana. But the first day you do, ushampatia password ya Wi-Fi. What do you expect? Atakuwa tu kwa simu, atasahau mtoto, atasahau nini, chakula kwa moto. You see, so those are the things I try to talk to my clients. Nikikuletea msichana, just sit down with her.
Okay.
Make your boundaries.
Okay.
You see, which are very important. Mwambie, osha every room, lakini kwa room yangu usiingie. You see, but tell her the first day before hata anze kazi.
Okay.
You see, okay, na such cases zenye unapata msichana amenicomplainia, amenipigia simu akaniambia, Tracy, this is happening.
My employer is not treating me well.
Now, what should I do? Because that is what they ask me. What do I do? Now, I always call the client, namwambia, I have a complaint from the house girl. Can we solve this? You see, or ama hiezi solve come. I also do this.
That puts them at a very weird position, because sasa umeni report,
Exactly.
Sasa vitakushow.
Which, let me tell you, it is very important. Msichana kuwa talkative na anaweza fungua roho yake. You see, I always sit down with them, the three of them. Kuna client hata nitaenda mpaka nyumbani. She tells me, Tracy, just come to my home. I sit down with them. Wendy, what is wrong? This and this and this. Okay, madam, what do we solve this? Are you ready to continue with Wendy or not? Yes, I love Wendy and I want to continue with her. Yes, Wendy, are you ready to continue with the work? Yes, ama hapana. You see, so hiyo itadetermine na msichana. Pia kuna cases zenye we can't negotiate. You see, for example, nimekuletea msichana. The husband is taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Trust me, I won't negotiate that. I just call you and I tell you, just bring that. Because remember, this girl is my responsibility.
True.
I always talk with the parents. Wanajua mtoto msichana akitoka ushago ako kwa mikono yangu. So in case of anything, I'm the one who
will be held responsible.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that. And then again, so do you also have, I don't know, like a welfare, because I know Kudeha, of course, also takes, care of such complaints and all those things in terms of, in the event that you have a case where this one, he lazima, justice should be done, especially in those cases of where, some of these house managers are then being exploited, right? You probably have to report such cases. Have you had to report such cases? And then what happens in terms of action, just to make sure that then this girl gets justice? Because majority of the times when we hear such stories, usually the house manager amefanyia mtoto kitu mbaya, amepelekwa police station, they're being arraigned in court.
So what I normally do, singojangi ifike your point. I don't wait for that, for it to happen. You see, so I work very hard. Nikijua there is a complaint, I will know how to handle it before it gets worse. Right. You see, haya upate mtoto amechapwa or mtoto amechunwa. You see, there must be a reason. Kwa nini msichana amechukua that action? Because boss ukiwa mzuri, trust me, these girls are good. Ukiwa mzuri na kama unawajali, these girls are good. But then if they find out kuna shida and na wamekwambia and you haven't resolved, ndio utakuta sasa anatoa hasira yake na mtoto. And also the moment umepata mtoto amechunwa, just return her back the following day.
Okay.
Do not entertain that.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Set boundaries. Because again, it's always say, but they're human beings. Sometimes when you react in a certain way, because maybe you have so much work and then mtoto anakusumbua, ama maybe the boss is not treating you well, so it's like too much. But like you said, again, set these rules, know which ones you can handle, and others zile zikifika too much, then
and
just return the girl.
When the girl comes the first day, remember I told you, you should tell her what you like and what you don't like.
Exactly.
You see,
your expectations.
Yes, and also the girl, give her a chance. Muulize, wewe unapenda nini upendi? Unaona, kama Wendy hapendi kupigiwa kelele. You see, so utajua how to handle this. Haya, Wendy, she's not quick at her job. So I will know how to handle this. You get? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wendy, do you feel sometimes mnapewa that chance to say, kuambia boss, by the way, sawa wewe umesema expectations zako towards what unataka mimi nifanye, but you also get that chance to also say, these are the things that I expect from you as a boss in terms of vile utani treat, vile watoto watani treat. Mnapewa hiyo chance kweli?
Sijaipata.
Okay. All right. But what, for you, what would you expect, let's say, kutoka kwa boss? Kushafika kwa hiyo nyumba. What are mimi, for example, you come to my house, I'll tell you, Wendy, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, right? But sasa wewe, what is it that you'd want boss ajue, so that in case anything happens from me, lakini si nilikuambia, ama sikuambia?
Kitu ya kwanza, nikifika kwa hiyo nyumba, yani pe rules zake kwanza.
Okay.
So yenye nitaona ni mbaya mimi kanushe. Aniambie kuamka ni saa ngapi, unaelewa? Yeah.
Okay.
So kitu ya pili nimwambie maybe mimi situmiangi maziwa, unaelewa? Mwambie mimi ni Mluya nakula ugali kwa wingi.
Asikukeleleshe juu ya chakula. Okay. All
right.
Okay. Anything else in terms of like kazi, like how long an expect to fanya kazi? Because there are others. I actually had this story where alikuwa anafanyishwa kazi hadi way past midnight, you know? So for you in terms of expectations, working hours zako zikwelini, off days zako zikwelini, na pesa, which is usually the biggest issue.
So kitu ya kwanza, tuelewane mshahara nalipwa tarehe ngapi? Spend late payments.
Okay.
Yeah. Kitu ya pili off. Alafu kitu ya tatu, okay, unajua hii simu ndio inafanyanga
simu inaleta shida sana.
So namwambia niko na watoto nyumbani. Kuna time anipe nafasi kama mchana hivi nisalimie watoto. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And akisema hapana, kuna zingine zenye msikubaliani nayo, what happens? Do you decide to stay ama
Akisema hapana, so nitachukua jukumu ya kucall the agent. Yeah.
Okay.
Nimweleze hivi na hivi na hivi.
Na hivi.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about remuneration very, very quickly, because here I can say our time is so much spent. Do you feel you're being compensated fairly? Like, ile pesa unapewa, do you feel ni okay? Ama wengine sometimes, especially now with COVID-19, where a lot of people, they were forced to just, acha tu nichukue ile iko, you know? Do you feel this is usually like a very, very big issue? And how would you want to be compensated as a house manager?
For now, pesa yenye napewa I'm okay.
Wewe uko sawa?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But in general, si wewe as Wendy peke yako, in general, and even amongst your friends, you know, ukiwasikia mkiongea, do you wanna feel, yeah, sisi tuko sawa pesa tunapewa, ama hapana, ai tuongezewe kidogo?
Wana feel hawayuko comfortable. Yani hali ya maisha ndio inafanya wanaenda kufanya hiyo kazi. Sasa hii wakati wa COVID kazi zilipote. Yeah.
Okay. So hawako okay?
Hawayuko okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay then. So for Samantha and Michael, again, we've also had this complaints amongst so many house managers where wanasema, sisi wewe umetuachia kila kitu. Like literally, it is us who take care of the baby and the house and everything else. But na bata onekanangi, hata anakujanga once in a while, anapotea, right? Do you feel some of the bosses or employers have actually just dumped the entire responsibility to the house manager, in that the house manager becomes way closer to the child, that you as the boss unaweza to feel jealous that this one has come over and has taken over my house?
Yeah. It has happened. Especially the ladies who, what do I say? The career women. You know, you spend so much time at work, you forget you have a family, you have to spare some time for them, you have kids and everything. So you assume because you have a house girl, you'll find everything in order. But you forget you're distancing yourself from your family. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And those ones, especially when it comes to boundaries, kuna wale hawana boundaries. Wewe can't do what you have to do. Do you think this is detrimental, or this helps in terms of helping the house manager to just feel at home, settle down, be okay?
What do I say?
Yeah. There should be some form of boundary thing.
Yes,
okay.
There must be some form of boundaries, because some of these house girls, you know, they are not, for lack of a better word, educated that much. So unless you set a boundaries for them, that's when they'll know their limit. So you find you're very absent at your kwa nyumba yako, so they'll go beyond even kuingia bedroom yako venye wanataka.
But there's some okay with the sales, like come clean, do what you have to do.
Since unashinda kazi, hauna time na kwako, at some point you won't even realize, outa notice that maybe somebody was here, something was done wrongly or something. Like kids hawakukula ama hawakuenda shule, such things.
Okay. All right. So as we bring this to a close, and I'll start with you, Michael, in terms of just, and especially for those maybe single dads who are watching and thinking, so how do I then foster this really healthy relationship with my house manager, but also make sure that kuna boundaries, right? And they learn to respect that. What would you say, very briefly, in like 30 seconds?
Wow. Okay. I think for me, when you get a house manager, the first thing that you're supposed to do, in my opinion, don't be too quick to set boundaries. Don't be too quick to give orders. Have a conversation. Okay. You know, because this is somebody that you want to establish a relationship with. So try to understand things without them saying them. You know, it becomes so awkward when somebody tells you, in my house, don't do this. In my house, don't do this. Don't
wear this.
You know,
don't wear
have
that.
some military kind of setup. You know, kind of rules. So for me, it's welcome her into your house. This is somebody that you're going to have in your house for some time. You're going to have a relationship. She's going to take care of your house, your children. Have a conversation. Take time, even if it's 2 hours. Let her sit there. Make her comfortable. Be comfortable. Have a good conversation. You can pick things that you really want about her without you asking her. You can be able to assess her mental state, what she can do, she can be able to do comfortably, and areas that you can actually partner. So yeah, it's good. Just have that conversation and keep it going.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Thank you, Wendy. Very quickly, in like 20 seconds, unazambia nini, let's say bosses, amata your fellow house managers, ukonje, just to make sure that kuna hiyo relationship mzuri between the boss and the house manager. Unaweza sema nini?
Naambia ma house manager wakuwe na heshima na upendo, na boss pia watuchukue kama family members, watutreat kama watoto wao, kama dada zao, na sisi pia tuwaheshimu na tupende watoto, na tuheshimu nyumba yao. Yeah.
I like that. All right, and Tracy, for you, as far as, again, the employers who come to you looking for girls and all those things, what would you say is one thing that will help foster that healthy relationship? Again, very quickly.
Motivation. Motivate these girls. Let them understand that what they are doing, their work, it's very important. Because you'll find out, kitambo tulikuwa tunaambiwa kazi ya house girls or house managers ni kazi mbaya. So we grew up knowing that hiyo si kazi mzuri, you see. But I have come to realize that it is good to motivate them. It is good to show them that this job is good, it is paying well. You see, you can help yourself with this job. You see. Yes.
Motivate them is what you would say.
And
okay.
always listen to these girls. Like for example, me in the WhatsApp group, they know. I have told them when the year started that each and every end of the year, I'll be rewarding the most disciplined girl of the house gems, the most clean one.
Yeah.
You see, so I'm trying to show them that you're not doing a bad job.
Yeah.
No, we love you.
We all love to be motivated, I mean, if we're being honest. All right, and for you, something like literally 10 seconds to all the employers watching you and thinking, okay, sawa, Mr. Kikutisha Guarana tena. What would you say, like literally 10 seconds?
Maybe we can just take on what one of our viewers has said. You be friendly, but don't be friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And on that note, we conclude the show. Thank you very much to all of you for coming by today, and of course, just helping us understand more as far as then establishing and fostering a healthy relationship. Asanteni sana for also sharing your experiences, and also thank you for staying with us until the end of the show. That is where we say goodbye. My name is Winnie Lubembe. As always, appreciate your feedback and for watching until the end of the show. Have yourselves an amazing, amazing weekend ahead. I will see you soon right here on